Saito walks through the school hallways on his way to class, where he encounters a cute girl who is apparently waiting for him. The girl, named Akane, grabs him by the tie and threatens to hurt him if he tells anyone about their relationship. We now know that they are newlyweds, and Akane, who is Saito's archenemy, considers her to be the most annoying girl in the entire school. 4 days earlier, Akane scolded Saito for not putting in effort in the class register, where he simply wrote that nothing noteworthy happened. Saito justified himself, saying that it was just a boring day. Akane also scolded him for not cleaning the blackboard at the end of the day and for writing a Chinese proverb about demons. Frustrated, Saito ignored her, claiming that no one reads them anyway, but Akane insisted that she did. Saito called the whole situation a nuisance and accused her of having nothing better to do than bother him. Akane retorted that she was just trying to correct his bad attitude. A cute blonde girl named Himari interrupted their fight, asking Akane not to be so harsh on him. Akane tried to explain her frustration, accusing Saito of disrespecting the class and everyone in it. Himari noticed that her friend seemed strangely obsessed with Saito, something Akane had never considered. However, she realized that every time she saw Saito, her blood boiled and she just wanted to hit him. Another girl, Shisei, Saito's cousin and adored by her classmates for her sweetness, intervened in the fight. Shisei asked if they were fighting again. Saito explained that it wasn't a fight and that she was attacking him for no reason. Shisei sympathized and comforted him, while Himari suggested that Akane might have feelings for him. They both vehemently denied it, saying that they could never be together, even if the world ended. After school, Saito's grandfather Hojo called him and asked him to visit him, but he refused. Hojo reminded him that he would inherit his vast company, but Saito continued to refuse. His grandfather then sent men to force him to go. Saito got into the car and asked where they were going, but the driver remained silent under Hojo's orders. It seemed that the Hojo group was once on the verge of bankruptcy, until Grandpa Hojo turned it into a high-tech powerhouse. Years later, he still remained in charge of the company. Saito was taken to his grandfather's house, where he encountered Akane, who immediately demanded to know what he was doing there. Saito replied that his grandfather had forced him, and apparently Akane's grandmother had done the same to her. The two began to fight simply because they were close to each other when his grandparents arrived in a large car, apparently with a plan in mind. Inside, Grandpa laid out a sumptuous banquet to celebrate. Akane only drank water, saying that she lost her appetite just by being around Saito. He retorted that her pheromones made everyone lose their appetite. The grandparents laughed at their absurd bickering, as it reminded them of their youth. Saito asked why they had been summoned, and the grandparents finally revealed their intention. They want both of them to get married. The teenagers were shocked by the proposal. The grandparents explained that they had fallen in love in high school, but never pursued their love due to silly fights. They took different paths, but now they wanted to fulfill their love through their grandchildren. The teenagers flatly refused, insisting that they could not be forced into marriage. Grandpa Hojo, expecting this, brought a stray dog and threatened to leave the company and all his wealth to the dog if Saito did not agree. Saito accused his grandfather of being crazy, but Hojo was willing to ruin the company to get what he wanted. Meanwhile, Grandma Chiyo whispered something in Akane's ear that caused her to panic. Grandma urged them to consider the long-term benefits and gave them 3 days to decide. On their way out, Akane asked Saito if he planned to marry her. Saito didn't know how to answer and asked what his grandmother had said, but Akane refused to answer. Saito insisted on knowing the details, but Akane remained silent. That night, Akane lay in bed, recalling her jealousy and frustration at finding out that Saito had surpassed her on the school ranking list. Confused, she called Himari to ask what she would do if she was forced to marry someone she didn't like. Himari replied that she would refuse, especially since she was in love with someone. Akane, shocked, asked for details, but Himari was taken aback by her friend's sudden interest and teased her, saying that she wouldn't reveal the person for the time being. Himari then asked if Akane liked anyone. Akane replied that she just wanted someone to disappear, preferably being hit in the head by a meteorite. Hearing this, Himari suggested that she agree to the marriage, as it would be fun to share her life with someone. Akane doesn't think that's a good enough reason, especially since she's worried about what might happen in bed. Himari agrees and jokingly advises her to have 100 children, as she only needs 20 sets of quintuplets. Akane says that her body wouldn't survive that. Meanwhile, Saito reflects on what happened and thinks that marrying Akane would be a fatal mistake. Shisei notices her worried expression and asks her what's wrong. He tells her that if she wants to inherit the Hojo company, she has to let her grandfather control her life. Shisei is not surprised by his grandfather's tactics and asks what Saito wants. Saito replies that he wants to inherit the company and live his life freely. Shisei sits on his lap and tells him that he can't have it all. No one lives completely free, as the world is full of rules. He adds that if he values his freedom over the company, she would happily become a vagabond and rummage through trash with him. Saito knows that wouldn't be right, and Shisei assures him that he won't stand in his way, but promises to always support him. The next day, Saito meets with Akane to try to come to a mutual agreement. 3 days later, they meet with their grandparents to announce their decision. They both agree to get married. They are both surprised by each other's response, as they never came to a proper agreement, but individually concluded that it was the best option. Afterwards, Saito assumes that the wedding will take place after graduation, but his grandfather corrects him. It will start immediately, and they have even arranged a house for the couple. The grandparents take the couple to their newly built house, which is already fully furnished and filled with their belongings to prevent them from running away. They have also already done the marriage papers. Everything is ready. Without saying anything else, the grandparents leave them alone. Akane begs her grandmother to take her back, but they don't use it. As they explore the house, Akane accuses Saito of making the beautiful house unbearable, while Saito says that she ruined his dream of having a bachelor pad. In the bathroom, they discover a heart-shaped jacuzzi, which makes them both feel uncomfortable. Saito finds a study and plans to use it for privacy when he hears Akane scream. He rushes to find her in the master bedroom, horrified by the discovery that there is only one bed. Angry, Saito calls his grandfather to complain, but the old man tells him that this is how marriage works. They must follow the rules. No sleeping on the floor or on the couches. They must share the bed. Grandma Chiyo wishes Akane luck, hinting that she will deal with Saito in the evening, but she refuses to do anything. Saito, hearing that there are rules, wonders if there might be cameras or sensors in the house. Akane, scared and nervous, asks him if he plans to take advantage of her all night. Saito has no idea what she's talking about. She tells him she's noticed how he looks at her from head to toe and accuses him of having dirty thoughts all day, but she won't let that happen, threatening him with a pencil. Saito tells her he would never do such a thing, and Akane ends up running out of the room. Later, Akane carries boxes upstairs, but she stumbles and nearly falls. Saito catches her just in time. Akane thanks him but quickly retracts her gratitude, remembering who he is. For dinner, the grandparents had left them a dinner since they assumed the couple would be too busy to cook. While eating pizza, Saito offers Akane a slice, but she accuses him of trying to act like a married couple. He responds that you don't have to be married to eat together. Akane reluctantly takes a slice and runs off. That night, as Saito lies exhausted on the bed, Akane enters the room, blushing. She lies on her side, noticing the bed is too small. Saito suspects this is another part of their grandparents' scheme. Feeling the warmth of her body and catching her scent, he becomes uneasy. Akane warns him not to try anything, confessing that she's inexperienced since she's never had a boyfriend. Saito admits he's inexperienced too, so they agree they're safe. Saito asks again why she agreed to marry him, but she avoids answering, saying she's willing to follow the rules to achieve her dream. Saito fears one of those rules might involve having children. Alarmed, Akane jumps, accidentally colliding her hip with his hand. Furious, she threatens to break his finger, but he insists it was an accident. Their first day of marriage ends with this misunderstanding. The next day at school, Akane threatens Saito, warning him not to tell anyone about their marriage. Saito agrees, but Akane is paranoid that he'll tell everyone they share a bed. He reassures her that he wouldn't do that. Akane believes him, but insists on recording his promise and threatens to destroy the world if he breaks it. Hey, if you made it to this part of the video, don't forget to write the word exquisito in the comment section. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.